All right. So in marriage, what makes marriage respectful? I mean, what makes you feel respected instead of talking about what makes us feel disrespected? All right. So respectful in marriage means being a great listener. Being a great listener. My husband is an awesome listener. And for that, I am very thankful because I am a talker. And it's important for me to be heard. When somebody's listening to you, it makes you feel important. And that means that if they're not listening to you, it makes you feel unimportant. And sometimes it's not that they're meaning to make you feel unimportant, they're just thinking they're more important and they don't have time to listen to you. There are some personality styles who are especially challenged at this, and they only want to hear what they have to hear. They don't want to hear all the details. Don't give them all the stuff. Just tell them exactly, kind of stay on track whenever you're talking to them. But listening, that's a skill. And sometimes we have to work at that a little bit. Another thing in marriage that makes us feel respected is tone of voice, how we talk to one another. You know, you never want to be talked down to as if you're a kid. I mean, we don't even like to be talked down to at work. Think about it. Have you ever had someone talk down to you? Think about how that made you feel. So, when it comes to marriage, we want to make sure that we are talking to one another in a respectful, loving, kind, thoughtful voice. And that's easier for some people rather than others. So, listening and tone of voice and how you talk to me, it matters. Now, I want you to think about, that kind of thing of being able to apologize. I'm sorry. Are you a person who apologizes easily? Or are you a person who, oh my gosh, it's so hard to say, I'm sorry. I've heard other people go, oh yeah, it's really hard. I don't like to say I'm sorry. Well, for me, that's one of my easy things. Thank you. I have plenty of hard things. But to say I'm sorry. So if I know I did something, I want to say I'm sorry because I don't want to hurt the other person. So if saying you're sorry or apologizing is really hard for you, that's something you want to think about and you want to take action on and you want to work on. The second thing is being responsible. So we want to be respectful and we want to be responsible. To be responsible, some people don't even know what that is. Maybe they've never seen a responsible person in their life. Now, that is something we forget to even think about. We don't know anything that we've not seen before. And so if somebody's not witnessed somebody being responsible, they don't know how to be responsible. So you want to make sure that to be responsible, you want to, number one, you want to learn to keep your word. Learn to keep your word. That means if you tell somebody, then you're going to follow through with it. And it's really self discipline. So if I tell a child even that I'm going to do something, then I open my mouth, I spoke the words, and now I have to follow through and do that. So be careful to speak slowly, right? Think about it, get your answer, and then, speak. Because when you say, yes, 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 you could do that, or yes, I'll do that, or yes, I'll go to the pumpkin patch with you, or yes, I'll go to that Christmas party with you, then there's no other way around it. You have to go to the Christmas party or you have to go to the pumpkin patch. You always want to keep your word. And sometimes we have to push our own personal self down in order to keep our word because we're tired or we're not in the mood. But to be a responsible person, you must keep your word. Another thing as a responsible person is you want to do your part. There's a lot of work around the house. There's a lot, it takes a lot to keep a house running. It's just about like a business. You have to keep food in the house, you cook, you got to keep it clean, you got to wash the clothes, the bills have got to be paid. There's the kids' activities, your work. There's a lot of different things that go into keeping a home and making a home. A house or an apartment is not just a house or an apartment. It's a home. And you want to make that the home that you want it to be. So we each have to do our part. Some people are natural servants. They're natural servants and they just step in and they do. They're so organized. They've got it together. While others only step in and do when they're in the mood to do something, or they feel like doing something, or they decided to do something. And so it's important for us all to kind of divvy up all the different things that we have to do at our house. We have to divvy it up. You do part, I do part. You do part, I do part. Because if one person's doing it all, they start to resent it. And we all need a break once in a while.